Hey everyone, welcome back. So for today, I'm actually going to be breaking the rules a little bit, and I'm going to be talking about yesterday's ELCA's reading, just because I wanted to pick up where we left off with the story of Jonah. So today's reading is Jonah 2, verses 1 through 10. And here we see what happens after Jonah talks to God while being in the belly of the fish. So I'm going to go ahead and read it right here. And it says this. Then Jonah prayed to the Lord, his God, from the belly of the fish, saying, I called to the Lord out of my distress, and he answered me. Out of the belly of Sheol I cried, and you heard my voice. You cast me into the deep, into the heart of the seas, and the flood surrounded me. All your waves and your billows passed over me. Then I said, I am driven away from your sight. How shall I look again upon your holy temple? The waters closed in over me, the deep surrounded me, weeds were warped around my head, and the roots of the mountains I went down to the land, whose bars closed upon me forever. Yet you brought my life from the pit, O Lord my God. As my life was ebbing away, I remembered the Lord, and my prayer came to you, into your holy temple. Those who worship vain idols forsake their true loyalty, but I, with the voice of thanksgiving, will sacrifice to you. What I have vowed I will pay. Deliverance belongs to the Lord. Then the Lord spoke to the fish, and it spewed Jonah out upon the dry land. Um, I just think this is a really interesting passage, especially when we keep in mind the metaphor of what the Lord is doing to Jonah, more so as keeping and continually tugging on Jonah's heart instead of Jonah being um, inside of this real fish. Then we start to see here that when we begin to communicate with the Lord, and when we start to give thanks, and when we start to say that we will work for and with the Lord, that things start to turn around. It doesn't say that everything is fine. It just says that Jonah spewed out. And as you will see if you continue reading on in this story, Jonah continues to struggle, even though he's both seen the power of the Lord in good and bad ways. Jonah still struggles, and that just makes this story of Jonah so real and so relatable to me. And I don't know, I just find Jonah's faith to be one that I can really resonate with. I think oftentimes I run from the Lord and run back to the Lord. And that's exactly what we see Jonah doing here. And we see the Lord always welcoming Jonah with open arms during this story. You'll see later on Jonah runs away yet again from the Lord, and the Lord provides a tree to cover Jonah when he's out in the wilderness. And so this story is just a really, really awesome story of how the Lord will always be there for you when you run back to Him. And that sometimes the punishments that we're seeing maybe aren't given from the Lord, but maybe are just because we're running away from what the Lord would want. So with that in mind, let me know what you think. I'd love to hear from you, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Bye.